Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Self Love Nutrition, where I teach you everything about fruit education, gut health, and meal planning. Today we're going to be talking about the Eve gene. As you can see, we have the heart space on here, fruit and vegetables on the tree of life, and the heart of Tahiti. Okay, so we're going to be covering all of that basis, and it's going to be a little deep. So if you get too um, uneasy about this information, make sure you just go research yourself and you come back, ask me questions, email me questions, things in that nature. I am so down to go ahead and have conversations with people about this information. And this is something that our frequency should be based on today in this time. Okay, and here's my disclaimer. So, everything said today is based upon my personal knowledge and experience. Any information you receive from this video may be researched on your own time for your own understanding. You are not to believe anything that is taught. Use your own discernment and evaluate your own intelligence. Please, 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 please evaluate your own intelligence. Thank you. All right, so the Eve gene. The Eve gene is, let's just break it down. Let's break down the etymology of Eve. Let's break down the etymology of Genesis. Okay, so Eve, based on Genesis 3:20 in the Bible, this is not going to be religious, but it's basically just going to use the Bible as a source because a lot of people just don't know what Eve came from, and she's only spoken about in Genesis. And what is the root word of Genesis? The gene. What is a gene? The gene is the DNA structure that makes you who you are. It makes you personable to your own chromosomes. Okay. So Eve is the mother of all living, and Adam called his wife named Eve because she was the mother of all living. So any woman on this planet at this time, um, with a certain neuromelanin structure DNA inside of her body has the Eve gene. And Eve in Hebrew, Eve equals Shava. Ha. You see how I underlined the two letters H and A. So Ha is the form of breath, which we will get to. So Shava is derived from the Hebrew Shava, meaning to breathe or living. The central theme of Ha, which in Hawaiian means breath. So the mother of all living, meaning that the breath is the breath. Like the breath is what makes things live. If there's no breath, there's no air. There's no flow inside of that lung or just anything inside of the body in the organ, let's say. Okay, so Hawaii. Let's trace it back to the Disney movie Moana. In the movie, Tafiti was an island goddess. That's why I have the heart of Tafiti on. Well, not the heart, but that's why I have Tafiti on the cover page there. So once her heart, a small Ponamu stone, got stolen, she became an angry volcanic beast that no longer possessed the power to create life and raise islands. Okay, now look at the woman today, a reflection of Safidi with her heart stolen. Hearts are filled with trauma, wombs are compromised, and the hormones are imbalanced. Guess what that equals? A lot of women today can't create life or uplift the nation just because they have had their heart stolen. They have had their heart space filled with trauma from men, filled with trauma from their parents, filled with trauma because they can't even heal themselves to raise children and uplift the nation as a true woman, as a true Eve. All right, earth goddesses. So, if you're afraid to call yourself a goddess, I'm sorry. I really don't know what to tell you, but you are a goddess on this realm. Like, we're going to get to that as well. We're going to get to that. Okay, so if you have the Eve gene, you're automatically protected and honored by Earth. Automatically. There's no ifs, ands, or doubts about it. As Earth goddesses, we must withhold our Eve gene in its most original state. We shouldn't be compromising our Eve gene with makeup, with deodorant, with perfume, with just hormonal disruptors such as candles. It's just so many hormonal disruptors that is affecting the Eve gene and making the Eve gene less than what it already is, because it has been compromised probably from birth. Just because you have gotten and they already know who you are. So yeah. Okay, mentally, in order to keep it in its most original state, you must garden and plant. Okay, back to Genesis 2:15. Then the Lord God took the man and placed him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and keep it. Physically, you must eat fruits and vegetables primarily. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you shall it be for meat. Simple. Spiritually, praying, meditating, and fasting. But when you pray, you must go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Guess what? It's laid out in the text. All right? So let's keep it moving. All right, so there is no match for the Kundalini serpent. Kundalini might scare you. I'm sorry, but that's your spine. Your spine. The less flexible your spine is, the less unbalanced you're going to be. The less aligned you're going to be. Everybody needs to go to see a chiropractor. If you don't stretch your back, if you don't literally focus on the flexibility and the mobility of your body, you need to go see a chiropractor. And I bet you will be way more aligned than what you think you are now. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, and then your eyes shall be open. Ye shall be as gods. As gods. Be still and know that you are God. That's why I say if you don't even want to call yourself a goddess, baby, you are that. You are that. You have to be that. In order for this world to change, you have to know who you are and step up in that power. That is who you are. Take it. Take it and embody it and live your life how you know that you are true to be. Knowing good and evil. Eve brought balance. These are two sides of righteousness. In the text of Mathematics of the Mind by Nur Muhammad, right can also be defined as a direction of motion, right? All right. The brain cells were created to think right and can be viewed from two sides. So therefore, when that text says if you ate that whatever fruit off that tree, they said it was the apple, but it's not an apple in the Bible. Well, if you ate that fruit off that tree, then your eyes shall be open. You should know good and evil. Why it wasn't just meant for us to know good. It's meant for us to know evil as well because that brings balance. We are all one. That brings balance. Let's change our perspective and our perception. Women are superior genetically, so let's act like it. How do we start? First, you protect your heart. The heart is a garden, okay? You nourish it with the activities you love, and it will flourish for you. You have to trim it just like you trim a garden. You have to prune it. You have to water it. There's no gardens that flourish without water. You protect the mind. The brain is made up of cells called neurons. Neurons are shaped like seedlings. Once again, a garden. You start your garden with. That is because every thought that is planted in the mind grows depending on how much it is watered. So no matter what you think, if you keep watering that thought, that is what's going to grow into your mind. So you have to protect your mind. First, you protect your minds by what you eat. And you got to eat from things that come from a garden. And lastly, you protect your womb. The womb is the most compromised organ on this planet. They don't want you to create life. Go back to the beginning of the lecture. What did I say? Mother of all living. A lot of people can't even give birth. They already messed those up from our grandmas and the great grandmas by giving people hysterectomies, partial hysterectomies, cutting out tubes, telling these women that they can't have their wombs because they got a little bit of cyst that can be passed naturally with herbs and fruits. Come on now. The womb serves as an intuitive guide. The womb has to be protected or no life can be created at all. So, introducing the priestess package. Let self-love guide you onto becoming the head priestess of your estate. I will literally teach you how to do every single thing that's going to help you become the head priestess of your estate. Literally take your family to the next level and make sure that your tribe is not compromised by what is going on today. As the Eve gene, we have to raise our vibration, and the women are the leaders. The women are the leaders. Guess what it starts with? Status correction. You have to know your status. If you don't know your status, you don't have any, like, first you have to have identity. If you don't have an identity, then you don't have a standing. And if you don't have a standing, you don't have a status. And this is something that cannot be taught in the public. So guess what? You have to email priestess package into to info@selflove.life so we could discuss this in the private. I will teach you all about offspring birthing. Offspring birthing is not childbirth. It's not. It's a whole different mechanism of from when the child is conceived to when the child is brought earthside. Homeschool curriculum. It is time for you to teach your children not even your children, it is time for you to teach your offspring what they should know, starting in the home. Family documents. Every document that you receive should not be from another entity. You should have your own documents. You should know how to create your own documents so you can have your own recordings for your family's legacy and your family's estate, your tribe estate. Bookkeeping and accounting records, so big within tribe business, family business. And lastly, trust administration. It might sound so easy to do, but a lot of women don't even manage their estate. It's their husband who manage their estate, and their husband ends up dying off or becoming incompetent. Not in, I mean, yeah, even though they just end up becoming incompetent, not knowing enough to uphold the trust or uphold the estate in the estate planner. So the estate planner has to be like, oh, well, now it's up to you, ma'am. And you don't even know nothing about it. Excuse me. So how are you going to sit there and let your husband or let your partner or whoever just take over every single thing when you're the leader? You have to at least do something. And that is be the manager of your estate. All right. So this will only be for women. Husband, fathers, and uncles may sign up female relatives as well. But the woman must be responsible, focused, determined, and dedicated to family business. This must be your first priority. You must believe what genetic makeup you truly possess, knowing that you can only control what you create. This is to control your family, not have your family in somebody else's control or another entity's control at all. This is the start of your legacy. You are the head of your estate, and we have to act like it starting yesterday, really starting last year, really starting 10 years ago. But I'm doing my part to make sure that the women uphold their value, starting with the food that you put into your body. So if you are interested in this priestess package, email priestess package I mean, email priestess package to info@selflove.life, and I will make sure you will get all the information that will come into the priestess package. If you have any questions, anything that you want me to know, anything that you feel like you want to discuss, just email me at info@selflove.life. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and donations are kindly being accepted. Have a great day and uplift your nation.